Serious, they say everyone we meet is fighting a battle we know nothing about, so we should always be kind. What battle are you fighting? My mother has weeks or months left. Doctors aren't optimistic, but this is indeed my last holiday with her. This is tough and I'm sorry to hear it. You and your mother are in my prayers. It's been a while since my husband died and no one talks about him anymore. It's as though he never existed, but I still grieve for him every single day. Bring him up. I suspect nobody brings him up to you because they don't want to remind you that he died in fear of making you sad. Bring him up. Make it an okay subject to talk about. Honestly, depression. Cancer has literally torn my family apart. I lost my biological father, my stepfather, 2 aunts and numerous cousins to it. My daughter doesn't have it but she stays sick. A lot. I'm so sorry. That's terrible. My heart goes out to you and your family. Diagnosed with 2 different types of cancer this year, and surgery, radiation. Starting to recover and figuring out what life will be like from here on out as I turn 40 in 3 months. Hang in there. Hope you make a full recovery soon. Going through methadone treatment while my 2 brothers are still using drugs. I'm clean now but it's still a tough battle, especially because we live together. I appreciate all the support and kind words, Reddit peeps. I'm in the middle of tapering down already, 30 milligrams left, and if anyone is facing a similar struggle just know you can do it. You're the master of your own destiny. I'm 7 years clean. You can do it. Never stop reminding yourself how awful it was, why you'd never go back and why you're grateful to be clean. Today, my reason is being here to be able to say that to you. Psychosis. I'm under immense pressure to try and seem normal, to laugh like I'm normal and react and talk and socialize like I'm normal. But it's hard when I'm hearing and feeling things that aren't real, or when I believe things that make other people get weirded out. I feel like I'm at constant war with my head and I want so hard to just seem well adjusted, and to not be freaking annoying all the dang time. What on earth am I supposed to do with my life now that she's passed? Exactly what she would want you to do. Currently dealing with unemployment and trying to stay positive in the sea of rejection letters. Luckily, I have an interview coming up but that is stressing me out because I don't know what I'm going to do if that doesn't go well. Currently in the same boat. I'm just tired of mooching off my mom and dad. They don't mind me not working, but I honestly just want my own funds. I have a baby with serious health issues who will likely have disabilities. There are a lot of other things along with that situation. Sprinkle in my own anxiety disorder, depression. Struggling mightily with life right now. I don't see it getting better. This is my new reality. I'm sending you and your kiddo lots of hugs and love. I hope you have someone to talk to. Depression, anxiety, PTSD. Car accident at 16 left me clinically dead and in a coma. Massive anxiety from that along with PTSD. Last year I lost my SO because of a drunk driver. I have horrific nightmares about both incidents. I'm a shell of my former self. I'm so sorry. What absolute torture to suffer through. You're more stronger than you realize considering all that has happened, and still managed to continue on despite the pain. I hope one day you'll be able to conquer your demons. Take care. I'm a teacher, so I don't make a whole lot of money. My husband has his own mental health stuff, so income from him is inconsistent. I'm the breadwinner. I have no savings. My washing machine broke months ago. My car desperately needs brakes. My lawnmower was just stolen out of my backyard. We rent. And I'm just sick of being broke. I want to be a teacher, but I wouldn't say I love it. It's so freaking hard. My kids, I teach high school in urban area, are freaking disasters. The homes many come from are disasters. I spend more time doing stupid crap mandated by the admin that just wastes time for no results than I do actually teaching. I'm tired all the time. Recently diagnosed with MS. My anxiety is back enough to be dosing out the daily panic attacks again. I'm grumpy and just want to crawl into bed and sleep. Ignorant of money, husband, job. But see me in my classroom and you'd never know. If you're not on in the classroom, they will devour you. Like most people, I just want a break from being whatever is expected of me. Winter break should help though, not that I have the money to actually do things. Hey, if teaching schools isn't something you think is the right path for you right now, a lot of larger companies will hire former teachers to train their new employees. I would assume the pay is better and it would be less stressful. Not sure if I like my major and career path. I'd switch, but I've put so much effort into this future that I'd feel so behind if I tried something new. Scared to be stuck on the road that I'm traveling. A wise woman once told me you don't have to hold on to a mistake just because you spent a long time making it. My kid is dying. Incurable. Fatal disease. My wife and I decided to tell no one, not even family, because at that point our little boy will find out. And why does he need to know? He just needs to be a little boy and enjoy the life he has. He's 9 years old and has Duchenne muscular dystrophy. It means his muscles are slowly dying. He's weak and continuing to get weaker. Typical progression is that he will be unable to walk and be confined to a wheelchair sometime around age 12-13, and then his lungs and heart will stop working sometime around 2025. Right now he's a happy little guy who just seems like he's unathletic. We tell him he has sick muscles. We see a lot of doctors. He's been in clinical trials, etc. Sometime in the next few years it will become obvious and we will tell him what's really going on. Doesn't seem like there's any hurry on that though. Again, thank you all. Just talking about it here is cathartic, and I am grateful for your love and kindness. I'm so sorry, man. Heart goes out to you and your wife. Hope your kid is as happy as possible. Chronic fatigue syndrome. I just want to sleep for the rest of forever. Yes, I have lupus and feel the same way. Mum committed suicide when I was 6. My dad passed away when I was 14. I was in treatment for almost a year, and I was homeless for about a year. I am diagnosed with major depressive disorder and anxiety. I'm so sorry. No one should have to go through that. 18 years of depression and anxiety brought on by the death of my mom when I was 19. I won't see anyone to talk about it because I don't have time and I put my kids and wife ahead of me. I spent my 37th birthday a few weeks ago getting drunk and crying all night while my family slept. No one knows about this except those reading this comment. The death of a parent doesn't go away. I'm not happy. Haven't had any motivation that lasts more than an hour in 2 years or so. I hate school and when someone asks how I'm doing I just say I'm alive and surviving. I don't like going through each day, cause the next is going to just happen with nothing special like the last one. Midlife crisis. Men going through a midlife crisis typically identify something they wish they had, something that they feel they have missed out on, or had but have lost and try to capture that lost thing but do so poorly. I'm no different. But for me it wasn't trying to be cool with a new car, or recapture passion with an affair. For me it was friends. I'm an introvert who grew up in a very conservative religion that essentially assigned you your friends as you grew up. After that, for about 15 years, I was pretty much a recluse and was happy just being on my own. Several years ago some trauma occurred in my life that started the midlife crisis. It made me realize I had no friends and desperately wanted them. Unfortunately, given my upbringing and 15 years of being a recluse, I had no idea how to make friends for myself. The only people I really knew were the people I worked with, and so I started there. And I savagely failed, to the point that HR was involved. I turned to meetup groups. There I got adopted by an extrovert and was pulled into her friend group, and for about a year I was doing beautifully. Then the extrovert, who was having marital problems, wanted to have an affair with me, and I did the worst possible thing. Because I so desperately needed her friendship I started to let it happen, but then stopped before it did. It alienated her and she left and took all of her friends with her. I tried hanging out with people in bars and was too good for them. I tried going back to church and found that I wasn't good enough for them. There have been a lot of other cases along this line. All told, about 20 failed friendships in 4 years. I've finally given up and I'm struggling now to get back into that blissful reclusive state of mind I had before. But my experiences in chasing friendship have left me riddled with anxiety, depression, and nightmares. I'm a disabled man. My health has always been poor and my friends at church were a ray of light in my life. My car broke down and I'm not sure I can afford to fix it. I miss them dearly. The girl I thought I was gonna marry broke up with me. I've been going through a faith crisis which has always been huge for me. I just feel so broken and lonely. Same thing happened to me this year too, man. I'm still getting over it, but it's nowhere to close to be as bad as it was when she dumped me. You got this, man. Getting forced to marry someone. I have to leave my house next week at night so no one notices it till morning. The thing I hate the most is how hard it will impact my mom. That feeling of blame is killing. My wife. She has struggled with depression for her whole life and it culminated in her attempting suicide last year. I've grown exhausted with the day-to-day struggle. I love her dearly, but I'm so tired. I'm thankful we don't have children, but do have my dogs for my doses of unconditional love. She's going through a rough patch. It's up and down, and I fear I'm in love with someone else. Someone else loves me back. For many reasons though, someone else will never actually happen for me. I'm not wired that way, but I feel as if I'm a captain, knowing full well my ship is doomed. I also know I'll still be at my post, aboard, as she slips beneath the waves. If you were to know me in real life, you likely wouldn't guess this truth about me, but hiding the truth doesn't diminish its reality. The battle in my own head. Heavy obsessive compulsive disorder, pretty much pure obsession. Always wondering if I have another disorder or disease. Fighting to not sink into a research spiral. Then there's anxiety and panic. Panic attacks are a special level of heck. They are terrible. Many times it's easier to wish for death. And then this lovely thing I found out the name for, acute hearing. Basically I can hear everything around me, but can't turn any of it off. 1 or 2 conversations I can handle. But when it gets more than that it makes me confused and leads to more panic. I'm determined to fight though, I have to. Getting divorced from my manipulative husband and dealing with my suicidal brother who just made an attempt on his life a few weeks ago. OMG, that is terrible. Please keep an eye on your brother and take care of yourself as well. Virtual hugs. Always been depressed with suicidal ideation, but managed to have a job I enjoyed and held for 12 years and life was manageable. 2 years ago a long-term relationship fell apart in a bad way. The depression hit hard, I developed anxiety and started having panic attacks. I've been seeing psychologists, psychiatrists, counselors, tried more medication than I can name, been admitted to hospital a number of times, lost my job, had to sell a lot of belongings, downgrade rental to a smaller place, and I struggle to get out of bed most days. I don't want to die. I just don't want to live. I don't see a point to any of it. I know falling apart over a relationship sounds pathetic, but it's more than losing my partner and best friend. I had very little to live for before the relationship. Now that it's over I have nothing left. I know falling apart over a relationship sounds pathetic. It's not pathetic. Grief is grief, and grief can be a B. The way you feel is correct for you. I wish you well in your healing. At the moment, seasonal depression. It was pretty bad today. Slept all day. Finally got the energy to leave my apartment. A song on the car radio triggered a crying spell. Hasn't felt good since. Normally I'd lurk these threads, but I'm drunk, so sure, I'll tell. PTSD, knowing a lot of my friends died in a stupid war over oil, and opiates keeps me up at night. And a ruined body, chondromalacia both knees, ACL tear and plantar fascia tear left side, rotator cuff injury left side, tendon tears both arms, broke all my knuckles at least once, collapsed lung, broke right shin. Every now and then I'll lose a battle, but with God and the internet as my witness, I will not lose the war. Your body might be somewhat ruined, but you're still a valuable person. Keep loving yourself, because that's the resource you rely on to be able to love other people. And keep loving other people, because that's the resource you rely on to be able to love yourself. I have an ex that is pushing me out of my child's life and using the fact I am currently sick as an illusionary force. Apparently my child forgot me despite being 4, extremely intelligent and my best friend since birth. I've not processed or dealt with it yet, and for the most part honestly I'm okay, but it is a hole in my heart if that's true. Something so incredibly precious and important to me and just forget me and be replaced by another man. Be kind to strangers. Treat others as you'd like to be treated. 3. This is a case of parental alienation syndrome. Try getting in touch with Child Protection Service Court. Depends on the country you live in, but what your child is going through is a form of psychological emotional abuse. I live in a foreign country and was sexually assaulted a few months ago. I do not speak the language, but I went to the police. They found him and CCTV footage of what happened. He hasn't been arrested but has been questioned. First he admitted to what he'd done, after a long drawn out ordeal. Now he's claiming that I'm a liar, and he wants to sue me for defamation of character. I did nothing wrong. I know this. I said no. I said don't touch me, but I still worry about what's going to happen. I somehow feel guilty about what's happened, and I feel guilty that I might just ruin someone's life if I am believed by the court. I go to work every day thinking about this. I cry about it in the shower. I want to call my dad and tell him what's going on, but I know he will just worry about me. So I just have to suck it up and pretend that I'm okay in front of everyone when all I want to do is fall into pieces. I'm so sorry. I don't know if it will help at all, but I do want you to know, it wasn't your fault. I'm so sorry you feel guilt over it, but this was all him being a horrible person, not anything you did wrong. Having him prosecuted isn't you ruining his life, it's him getting the consequences he deserves from something he chose to do. This is his fault, not yours. Again, I'm so sorry. Wow, after reading a lot of comments here I realized I should be more thankful about how my life is going. My only problem is that my social skills are not perfect and I am not good at talking to girls. But this is nothing compared to what some people here are going through. I wish you all the best. Hey, OP, read halfway through and haven't seen anyone ask you yet. How's you? What battle are you fighting? Sorry if it has been answered further down. And if you feel tired, don't worry about not responding again. That was really considerate of you. The world needs more people like you. Control all alts. Losing my son 3 years ago. My husband's family is mostly toxic. Thank God all we have left is his brother and family. My father battles depression. My mother favors my brother over all of my siblings and me. The list goes on and on. I kind of want a do-over, but I don't know that I could do anything differently. Either way, since I lost my son, I strive to make other people's world at least a little bit better. Whether it's checking on someone to make sure they're okay, or just smiling at a random stranger. I try, that's all I can do. Sometimes. Don't think that your efforts to make other people's worlds a little better goes unnoticed. They are very much noticed. A smile from a stranger is a simple yet beautiful gesture. Thank you. Well, it started when the mother of my child got pregnant. She moved in with me and left me 5 days after. I've managed to lose everything including my close personal friends. I'm so broken that I don't even know who or what I am. Dealing with some severe depression and almost daily thoughts of contemplating suicide. Thursday I was 98% sure I was going to kill myself. Friday put the knife to my throat and I was about to slit my throat from end to end, but I stopped after I cut myself. Keep fighting and talk to a professional, please. There are so many reasons for you to push against the pain. Moderate depression, moderate anxiety, mild PTSD, and abuse. Most people just from looking at me wouldn't know that I suffer from these things. Generally I always have a smile on my face and a decent mood. The occasional suicide joke, but that's common for people my age. Most days I feel tired physically and emotionally no matter if something bad happened that day or not. People with depression understand this, but for those without it they don't understand that nothing has to be wrong for you to feel sad or numb. At least 80% of days I feel numb and 90% of the remaining days I just feel sad. The PTSD is from childhood, as my parents would fight and yell at each other, and my brother would hit me or yell at me. I can't listen to loud noises anymore without having mild to overwhelming anxiety. Sometimes I start shaking and crying because someone turned up the volume of the radio. I feel sorry for anyone as young as me or younger that has to go through the same things I do. If you are new to the channel, you can subscribe. I publish new videos every day. Until then, check another video. Bye for now.